So everybody on your feet. Now, this is to be carefully.
15 minutes into this match, and the visitors with a late surge are up by 5 goals over the fourth. There will be no changes as we approach the second quarter of the grand final.
Start of the second quarter here at the North Shore Event Centre, coming to you live here on One Sport, but it's the visiting team that have made the first real punch, if you like, in this final with that hit just before quarter time. 5 unanswered goals, and they take that 16-11 win from the first quarter into the second spell. 5-goal advantage. So the work really ahead here of the Force to get back into this game. They would have been very lucky and very pleased to hear the sound of that whistle, just breaking the momentum of the Sting, who really were on a roll going into quarter time. And there they are. They've just carried on. Wilkins with an easy conversion there as he takes the tip, recovers it, and sweep onto attack. Whoopi finds Barrett Chase on the edge of the circle.
Yes, beautifully in the air. Barrett Chase that time got up there to meet the ball over the taller defender.
6 in a row for the Sting. Just like their record of winning these championships.
Well, Wilson's continuing her form from last week. She's everywhere. She's making herself available, coming forward hard onto the ball.
The Sting has started very
There are problems right here now for the Force. 7 unanswered goals against the Sting.
Playing it back out, resetting, space not open, good defence. Hutton, bit late for the charge.
And then Larby throws the ball away.
Just about a held ball. You must release it within 3 seconds. There was some good pressure from the Force, but Hutton got it away.
Boy, they are playing as well, aren't they, Julie, tonight, as they did a week ago?
Absolutely, and just turning and letting the ball go. That's what Wilson's doing. She's getting her head round, sighting the shooters. Great work to Brain. Cross-court pass.
Well, that might trigger the Force back into life here. They need something. They have conceded 8 straight goals here. Remember, it was 11 all just a couple of minutes before quarter time. Now look at that scoreline. It has been a famine down this end for Latu and Dean. It's broken. An important goal as well, coming off the Sting centre pass. Yates. Dean back to Temapara George.
Dean doesn't want to shoot from deep. If the penalty goes against Hutton, just lets her off the hook.
Yeah, the contact against Liana de Brain. Missed from Whoopi, but that 1.94 height that she brings to her game gets her the rebound and the shot.
And that was the first rebound for the Sting. It's an area that the Force have been dominant at both ends of the court.
Call goes against Wilkins, who doesn't agree with the call at all. Believes that she was tripped by George. That's not the way Mandy Nottingham sees it.
Well, Wilkins was saying a foot came out, but doesn't look like anything deliberate. deliberate there.
Obstruction centre.
Starting to build another lead in this quarter now. Up by 5 goals to 3. A 7-goal advantage here to the Sting.
The thing is, with the young shooters at either end of the court, they have got such experience around them. Dean at this end with Latu, and you can see her talking to her all the time, keeping her confidence up, and at the other end, Wilkins with Whoopie-Eaty.
Hutton stranded outside the circle there for that penalty, so it was easy for the Force to convert it. It's back to 6 goals.
Well, Barrett Chase actually, I looked at a couple of tapes of some of her games prior to this one here tonight, and she wasn't doing a lot of feeding into the circle. We've seen her up that tonight, and she's finding the circle edge quite nicely.
Well, the Sting still have the advantage in this quarter, and they still have that very handy lead, a 6-goal advantage. Timeout called here as a player requires some attention. Looks like it's Liana De Bruyne that's requiring some attention.
National Bank cash at half-time in our National Bank Money Box competition. A reminder also at the conclusion of the match today, the National Bank will be presenting the outstanding
22 to 16 here at the North Shore Event Centre, and just a reminder, at 11:35 tomorrow night we start the countdown live from Valencia, the first America's Cup race of 2007 between Team New Zealand and of course Alingi. Danica Whoopie-Eaty, she's going at above her seasonal average at 83% tonight. She's been around the high 70s for most of the season, so she's risen to the occasion so far. Long way left still in this match. Latu, where she is for most of the year, with those very high and very impressive shooting stats. She hasn't missed a shot tonight, 8 from 8.
And Wilkins sitting in the 90s where she's been all season as well.
So the shooting here tonight has been of the highest quality. You see those two figures right out to the far right-hand side of that graphic. 94% overall for the Force and 88% for the Sting. But you can see there the Sting getting a lot more ball into their shooting circle and putting up a lot more shots, about a third more shots than their opponents. And here's another, probably the longest we've seen tonight from Whoopie-Eaty, and she is absolutely on song at the moment. 24-year-old Danica Whoopie-Eaty. Nice work between Latu and George. And finally it falls for Latu. Keeps a perfect record, 9 from 9. Yeah, this is a Dean Wilson that we remember from a few years ago, the Julie. She's so dynamic in the air, on the ground, just the speed around the court, the way she's reading the game. She's such an influential person when she's in this kind of form.
Absolutely, mixing her game up, playing the ball sometimes in the air. She gets her head around, good strong body hold in the air, delivers the ball off, and other times stops and uses the footwork.
And things getting feisty between Latu and Megan Hutton. Hutton not very happy at the moment. I might just go and have a look at that, because I think there was a flying elbow in there which did not impress Megan Hutton. But anyway, back to the live action at the moment at the opposite end of the court.
Floating down, Wilkins.
I'm going to jump in, Julie. It's so low error down there. They're not making mistakes. They're playing it around in that shooting circle, and they're making sure those shots go in.
And here it is. Whoa, there. Well, a little bit of retaliation. You give and you get.
Retaliation stemming, I guess, from frustration, but...
Oh, beautiful delivery. That's a long bounce pass. Danger, it doesn't come up off the floorboard. But I haven't seen a bounce pass from that distance in a long time. Great delivery.
Well, there was a lot of space in there for it, wasn't there? And so it zoomed in straight into the hands of Whoopi Iti, but this time not so accurate with the pass.
Well, you have to power it into the floorboards for it to come up with that distance on it.
Well, that's one turnover for the fourth, and they're going to need a few more like that.
Go to fence. Go to fence out, please. Yes.
Long pass and Sting's hand spoiled. Barrett Chase had good distance, but just hands on the ball. Latu from where she likes it.
Obstruction centre.
Well, they just look bulletproof at the moment, the Sting, don't they? They are just playing mistake-free netball here, and the confidence coming off this team is something else. And this Force are not in this match at the moment, Julie Coney, are they?
And there's no letting off with defence. Look at that up at the line. Wilson and Wilkins pressuring right the way to the transverse line.
Well, Yvonne Willering, as a rule, is a coach not afraid to make changes when things aren't going the way they should be. So we suspect, unless they turn things around in the last 4 minutes here, we'll see some changes at half-time. She's somehow got to break this hold that the Sting have on this match. Dean gets the penalty for the obstruction from Hutton.
But I mean, everybody's just wanting to go for that ball. The bounce pass doesn't come off this time, although get away with the penalty. This time it's Whoopi Iti pushing off.
Well, Jenny May, I mean, something's got to happen here for the Force, doesn't it? I mean, they've got to find the key to unlocking this match at the moment, don't they?
Oh, look, it's just little errors that are starting to happen, and there is a massive collision in the mid-court.
Right, the middle of the court. Burgess and George are down, but they're both, well, certainly George is up on her feet. Burgess doesn't look too great. Out comes Neil Famine on the physio again. We've got, what, just 3 minutes left until half-time.
Have a look at what happens. Terracotta George looking to go for the ball.
For a long time, the national band
Instead collided
Essex Qantas
with Erica Burgess.
One Sport taking us live around the country.
The Force are making far too many errors at the moment. There's, you know, whether it's a missed shot or a step or a replay ball, you can't afford to do that. A, in finals netball, but also B, against a team like Sting. Sting are out there, they look like they've got more fire in the belly at the moment than the Force have. And maybe if the Force can break a couple more goals, they'll feel like they're back in the game. But at the moment, they certainly look out of it.
Well, they have matched the Sting goal for goal in the second quarter, and they pulled it back from 9, I think the deficit was. And now the deficit is 5, so some hope there for the Force with around about 3 minutes of play remaining until half-time. Very crucial 3 minutes in this match.
And the interesting thing is the turnovers don't really reflect the, you know, that the Force have made that many more errors.
Well, there is a rare error there from the Sting. They turn that ball over.
And you can see 10-9, it was 10-8 prior to that one, now it's 11.
Easy for the cross-court pass sucked up by Dean Wilson.
How great was that? The athleticism that Wilson is showing.
Mind you, that's not a bad reply from Liana de Bruin either, inside the defensive circle there for the Force.
And Davy helped created that, and I think it's time for Davy to start coming to the party now for them. Yeah, definitely, and we know what she's capable of in there.
I'm having a look at Yvonne Wollering on the sideline, and I think she was thinking maybe I need to make some changes, but now this little surge, she might pull back and go, well, you know, do I give them another chance?
Yeah, five of the last 6 goals have come to the Force.
Yeah, Starbu pushing her way through. The penalty goes to Wilkins. Wilkins is used to that with her basketball. She stays upright, holds firm.
13 goals apiece in this second quarter, but that little surge before the end of the first spell, the difference between the two teams, is back to 5.
Look how wide the Force are having to play. They're filling the middle of the court with Sting.
Yep, they've picked their game up all right, the Force, in the last few minutes since that little injury break, and there's another turnover.
You could see Wilson saying, come to me, come to me. She was left stranded with the ball.
And the crowd that had gone very silent for a long time has suddenly found their voice again.
Great long vision there by Liana Barrett-Chase to let that ball go through to Donna Wilkins. Relieves the pressure a little bit from Wilson. Well, it took a while for that ball to actually go out of court.
Well, it only seemed that only Whippy was interested in it.
Absolutely, players should have looked at it.
They just didn't watch the chase after the ball. But it has meant another visit down to the attack end for the Sting, and no addition to the score, which is good news for the Force here if they can cash in at the other end. Up goes the arm, and up the call against Hutton. She's getting terribly frustrated down there, Megan Hutton.
Well, she's got the rebound.
And there is half-time. The Force winning the second quarter by 14-13. They trail the visiting side by 4 at half-time in the National Bank Cup final for 2007.